Hello, guys, and welcome back to Exit or Die, the no bullshit podcast for founders, investors, and the operators shaping tomorrow's startups and the whole startup ecosystem. Today, my guest is Alex Novozhenov, a four-time founder, fintech veteran, and now CEO of NODU, a company building stablecoin rails to finally make crypto work inside traditional finance. Alex, before NODU, you co-founded Krasula, helping over 75 fintechs launch banking and payment solutions and products. So with powering more than $600 billion in cross-border flows. You also exited multiple companies in both the gaming and the payment space, and you bring a rare mix of product, technical, and regulatory know-how with you. Today, Alex, we will talk about why legacy finance still cannot talk to crypto, how stablecoins are quietly becoming the most important tool in global commerce, and what it really takes to build infrastructure in over 170 countries. Welcome, Alex, to Exit or Die.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Peter. Thanks for welcoming me to your interesting show. It's a pleasure to be here. And let's start.
Perfect. Yeah, Alex, I would say let's go directly into the topic and let's start with the mission behind NODU. So why are stablecoins such a crucial missing link in global payments today?
Yeah, so my previous background was banking. So even before I set gaming companies, I was a person behind building some products in banking, mostly online products. And I know a lot about banking and what I can say here. So everybody knows, yes. So most of the finance stack in a past vision, in a past legacy infrastructure. And I would say that stablecoins, they have a lot of things that could solve that. Main idea behind the stablecoin is that you can easily transfer a lot of liquidity, a lot of value using blockchain in seconds. This is a lot of opportunities here, and I see that broken rails, which already have built into the banking rails, they cannot compete. Yeah. So my vision here that we need to utilize this new technology. Yeah. So everywhere we can. And of course, this is what NODU is doing.
Mm-hmm. So the future of fintech is invisible infrastructure. So what does that mean in practice, and where are we still stuck today?
Yeah, so it's not the surprise that when we do payments, when we do banking, when we do finance, a lot of things happens on a background scene, which means that we have a lot of things to do, and especially financial service providers, financial service companies or banks, they need to do a lot of things on a background, and we do not see what they actually do. Invisible finance means that how all this liquidity, all the payments which a society is making, moving around the globe. In real, we don't see how everything is connected to each other, how we connect different continents, how we connect different countries, how currencies become from one position to another. This invisible finance is something we use every day, but we don't see how it works. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And NODU is all about bridging traditional finance and crypto, but that's been talked about for years, right? So what makes your approach different?
We are trying to be a bit different from other competitors on the market because we would like to stay really focused. Our main focus is only to connect rails, which means that we would like to connect as many classical fiat rails, financial rails, to stablecoin network.
Alex, NODU is not just offering APIs, so you are building a full compliance and onboarding layer. Why is that critical for real-world adoption?
Since we are building infrastructure and we would like to have this infrastructure easily connected to other financial players, I would like to mention them. So it could be banks or any PSPs, any other financial service providers, EMIs, or insurance companies. Anyone who wants to use these stablecoin rails or stablecoin powered payments for their business, they don't want to think how to align compliance with us. What we are providing in that case, if they don't want to align this compliance, we are providing it through the API, which means that every financial institution which would like to launch this product really fast, they can connect our API from the technical point of view and start moving some customer data for the compliance reasons to onboard them to us, and we start providing them services. This is like an opportunity to have better distribution for us and opportunity to have less hassle for the companies who are, for instance, has no regulation. So for companies who are not regulated, or for even companies who are regulated, but they don't want to rely on us, or we don't want to rely on them.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your background. So you have a lot of experience. I'm very impressed about your background. So you have gone from building online games with about over 6 million players to fintech infrastructure and banking platforms and solutions. So what did you carry from the gaming world into the fintech world?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting thing. So when we were building our online games products, these were ancient times actually, and I would say that those times payment service industry wasn't so penetrated, and it was not so interconnected. So our one of our core competence was to build a distribution of our products, and distribution means not only that you need to market it, but also that you need to get money from the customers you market, which means that during those times we started to build a very massively payment gateways and start to accept payments in more than 60 countries.
Wow.
I had a separate team within the company who was just building the payments, and like it's a bit of fintech inside a company which is building games. This is how I started, and where I get a lot of experience in payments and a lot of network and contacts, and even most of the employees, best employees at Krasula and NODU came from these times we built payments for gamers. Our CTO, for instance, Vlad, he's a person who was one of the key developers for our payment gateway at previous company. Yeah.
And do you think your product instinct were shaped more by consumer experience or technical constraints?
I was more on the business side, less on the consumer side, and to distribute the games or distribute a gaming platform, which I did before. You need to have a lot of B2B activities. So I think I'm more B2B person, less B2C. Yes, and that is why we are building NODU as a B2B solution, which powers fintechs, not the retail customers or end users.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. You have scaled and exited multiple companies, right? So from RBK Games to Crasula. What's one truth about building a company that hasn't changed in 20 years?
Yeah, it's a good question. Not changing 20 years. So, of course, a lot of things not changing 20 years. Most of the mistakes I made before, I would say, they're not changing for 20 years. For instance, to stay focused. Yeah, so it's one of the crucial mistake of any entrepreneur encounter. Yeah. So, my experience was really bad in that for my previous companies, and I expect that for NODU, I will not be so dumb, and will be really focused, and this focus will bring us better opportunities of scale.
What do you think? What's something that founders get wrong about scaling a payments business in particular?
There are a lot of things, of course, but yeah, so focus is one of the things I already mentioned, actually. But a part of it, I would say, it could be some tricky points in understanding if your product market fit enough. Yeah, so in some cases, founders, they don't really understand that they haven't found product market fit. It's a question number one. Another question, sometimes they do not even understand the industry and even understand the real demand. Because if you, for instance, have done some customer validation, it doesn't mean that the whole industry need this product, because usually early customer validation is something about your friends and families. Yeah. So I would say most of these basement topics are crucial to have the next level for the building a scalable startup. Actually, I made these mistakes too, and I really understand about them. Yeah, so my relationships with all the mistakes startups made are pretty enough.
Yeah, and that's definitely great tips for other founders. I mean, you have worked at the intersection of regulation and innovation. What do you think? So how should fintech founders think about compliance in the next wave of crypto adoption?
I'll give you my story. Yeah, so for that, so 2 years for these were 2 interesting years for my life when I helped my friend to manage his company, which was in crisis. This company called RBK Money, and I had a chance to work with great guys inside this company, and even their MLRO, the guy who was responsible for compliance. He was a really great guy, and I learned a lot from him. And what I can say here, that for most of the fintech founders, and especially new ones, like and early founders, if you haven't had this experience working in day by day with a really experienced compliance officer, you don't really understand how compliance works from my point of view. because compliance is another side of scale. Yeah. So if you are doing business, you want to go really fast. You want to do a lot of things, and you think then you can do them really fast and no matter. But reality is the opposite. If you don't want to sit in jail, you need to listen. You need to listen the guy who is just breaking your business. So he stops everything you want. Yeah. So and it's a bit of balance. So and I believe that most of the founders, they need to find a balance between doing business really fast and managing compliance really well. Yeah. So and it's an art. Yeah. So it's a bit of complexity, and of course we live in this world. So regulators, they are tougher than they have been ever before, and I don't believe it's going to be changed.
Yeah. So Alex, then I will come to the next question. Compliance is a very hard area. Will stablecoins stay the core vehicle, or do you see something else coming next?
So for now, I don't see any technology which is better than stablecoins in moving a lot of liquidity in seconds around the globe. Thanks to the existing technologies of blockchain, which we have for about 10 and more years. And I think that it's too early to get out of them. I believe that stable coins, they just starting to play this crucial role in payment rails. Look what happens right now. Visa starting to do settlements using stable coins. A lot of regulators are adopting stable coins, and even if for instance, in Europe, stablecoin will play the same role as a mean of payment in a completely legal way. We had a new law from European Bank Association, which said that every company which is doing payment services, or it could be bank or EMI company or a payment service provider, they will be able to move stable coins. And every company which is doing crypto services, they need to have the same license to move stablecoin as they having licenses to move fiat. I see a lot of alignments here, and we are just on the first step of doing that. Part of stablecoin, I would say, I'm a big fan of the technologies behind Bitcoin or behind DeFi or any other new blockchain, I would say, inventions. But I would like to mention that why we use stablecoins, not Bitcoin, for doing payments, because of the very famous Graham law. You've heard ever about Graham law, which it says bad money will always be used more than good money. So it means that people will spend more and more easily the money they don't trust less.
Yeah.
It's a bit of understanding on how we treat regular governmental currencies, because coins are representations of governmental currencies. But in nutshell, it works this way.
Yeah. Perfect insights, and I'm impressed about your know-how about all these topics. I mean, it's a big topic, right? So fintech compliance, stable coins. So we could talk the whole day, right? But now we are coming to the fastest part of our podcast. It's the exit or die rapid fire. That means 5 questions from my side. It's a quick round, 1 sentence answers only, please. And I would say let's start directly with the question number one. So, what do you think is the biggest myth about stablecoins?
People think that stable coins are just about shady money. So to do something shady.
Shady money, right? That's
Yeah,
the
shady.
biggest myth.
Yeah, it's a myth. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then question number two would be the most overrated fintech buzzword.
For me, it's CBDC. So I hear a lot of CBDC from news outlets or any type of regulatory conversations, but in real, it's a buzzword.
Question number three: what's the most underrated country for payment innovation?
Can I name continent or I need to name only country? I would name Africa.
Okay.
It's very interesting what happens there, and we will see a lot of new things for heartless society which lives there.
Yeah. Number four would be a founder mistake you would never repeat.
Yes, as we spoke before, I would never do any more, I believe, so non-scalable business.
Yeah, and the last one, number five, if NODU didn't exist, what would you build next?
I would build something from the directions of DeFi or maybe corporate treasury management based on stable coins and multi-signature contracts, some sort of that.
What's the reason for that?
I see a lot of opportunities here because when we are going to adopt stable coins into every aspect of our money movements, and most of the people will become familiar with that, the demand for this type of products, for instance, for lending protocols or for corporate management software for managing your liquidity, using multi-signature for corporates or fintechs, it's going to be like something crucial.
I have again one question in mind about regulation. As you know, we have a lot of regulations here in Europe in finance. That's something good, but as founder, it could be also something bad because you have to work a lot on regulations. It's maybe very hard to start a business. So, what do you think have to change on the one side in the mindset of big banks with regulations that they will implement crypto payments, for example, or stable coins and such things? And what's your personal answer or thought about the regulations in Europe? Are they okay, or do we have implement better regulations? What do you think about this topic?
As a person who is doing business, of course, I'm willing to have better regulations. So because and you know the most complexity here comes from a lot of undefined things. So what I see here in not only in Europe, everywhere, compliance it's not the must. I'm the must guy, and for me, compliance means like an art. So, and from the regulatory point of view, of course, we understand the vision that you need to stay compliant and you need to maintain all the necessary procedures.
Alex, perfect. That's it for this episode of X or Die. Really, a huge thank you for your time, for showing us how deep infrastructure, if done right and correctly, can finally connect fintech's promise with real outcomes. Whether you are building APIs, wallets, rails, or just trying to make sense of crypto's next evolution, I think NODU is definitely one to watch. Alex, thank you so much. And yeah, see you.